through.
Ian, there is a question specifically for you. How do we tell clients not to use culture-specific language or idioms? Native speakers, for instance, certain clients generally lapse into language they are used to. It's difficult for non-native speakers to understand.
I mean, I actually do quite a bit of work with very fluent non-native and native speakers. And so I can work with them and kind of try and help them to modify the language that they use. Very often I do that by actually playing recordings or videos of their counterparts so that they can see the very big difference between competence. So from the companies I work for, then we are able to work with highly fluent speakers. I actually work with I'm working with Indian consultants at the moment who are working in Finland and France and Germany, and we have been given the opportunity to at least try and make them more aware of the language they're using. And on the other side, by videoing such consultants, then before there is training which is going on, actual subject training which goes on in those countries, then we are able to sensitize the learners to the type of language that they will be exposed to.
There's another question for the panel. It's a specific question about a product. Let me go through it. It says, there has been a lot of buzz around a product called Burlington English. Has anyone had any experience with it? From what I've seen, it has very focused content and is targeted for blended learning environment. Can anyone comment on that?
I know Burlington, but I don't know that particular product. Sorry.
No, me neither.
Okay.
I'm afraid.
Yeah, same. I've never heard.
Depends.
No.
The only thing I can say about Burlington is that they tend to operate in market-specific contexts. So something that might be getting a lot of buzz in a certain country might not be reaching buzz everywhere. So it doesn't mean that it's not a good product. It just means that they're focusing the buzz on a certain place.
Can I pick up Rosie's point I've just seen on the side? She asked how we propose to provide training that everyone can attend. The type of business English which I'm involved in is not just going into companies very often and doing a 1.5 hours here, 1.5 hours there, but it's always or nearly always arranged as intensive 1-2 day training courses. The language that they're learning is seen as being absolutely vital to the jobs that they're doing. And it's as important as any other training which they undertake in the company. And that's the best way to get 100% participation. And certainly it's expected by senior management, and people attend.
Okay, now we have Rhonda who will... Okay, Rhonda, go ahead.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you very much. This was a wonderful opportunity. And I'd like to know if you have one thing that you would say for people who are starting out new. I have new colleagues coming in to the business, and they want to know what they think, what professional trainers think the most important thing is. What would you have to say to them?
Okay, I'll start. Okay. I'd say it depends what kind of environment they're going into. If they're going out to do language training in business, I think they should work definitely on self-confidence. Some of the problems that I had experienced, and perhaps Luke and the anecdotes he was telling, were perhaps due to a lack of confidence in oneself. This is common with newly trained English teachers. So working on getting their confidence up, that means giving them support, giving them professional support, encouraging them to attend things like this, to read more, to do more stuff like that, to get their, also, that they want to go in feeling confident about themselves. It's a small thing, but looking the part. I don't necessarily mean wearing a suit, but feeling confident in terms of clothes and being prepared for the lessons and everything like that. So that has to be definitely I think, encouraged. That a sense where they can share from the different experiences without it becoming a group moan is another positive thing. If you've got new teachers, maybe some kind of mentoring or buddy system that could work at the school where they feedback. I had this at one school where I did feedback with a more experienced teacher every once in a while, saying how things were going, so on and so forth. The other thing is, I think a very nice place to start would be Luke's. The little stickman images, and like the empathy, perseverance, and things like that. Some of those will come more with experience, but it's always a good thing to start with. I'll let the others say something now.
I'll jump in. I guess one thing would be to learn a bit about business. This is often something that teachers are, well, in my experience, are quite reluctant to do, although that may not be other people's experience. But certainly if they work in a private language school, then there should be every opportunity to get some sense of how that business feels. Of course, if you are a director of employee, then it's well worth employing teachers who do have experience in other fields. So that would be the first thing, would be to sort of get comfortable with the idea of business. Don't see it as being a completely different field of human endeavour. When it comes to the actual class or the lessons, then think about ask questions, not about giving the right information. And the last suggestion I'd make would be to get involved and to see teaching people who have this wealth of experience in a very different context as potentially fun and there's a chance to learn environment.
From my point of view, working with companies also is the whole area of familiarization, and one thing that we've always done in my own business is to get into the company, not just to hear things from the learner, that's very important, but actually to have a chance to go to factories, go to sales offices, talk to people, and to bring the relatively inexperienced trainers into that environment so that they don't just hear, that they're not just learning it from the learner, but also from maybe from the people who are really in the business and speaking effectively in that business. We do that through use of video recordings, audio recordings that can be shared amongst our trainers as well.
Thanks, everybody. Now we're going to have everybody for participating, and of course all the speakers, and we have Cornelia on BESIG, who's going to
hear me?
end up this event. Oh, thank you.
Okay, does everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yep. Okay. Then I think you'll all agree with me that this is really a great experience. And I'd like to thank all participants. I'd like to thank all the speakers, Lindsay, Ian, Luke, Candy. Sorry we couldn't get you in, but maybe we can do something with recording you and then put it up on the website. I'd like to thank Mercedes. Thank you for moderating the session. Carl, thank you really very, very much for setting this all up. And the audience, we had a very truly international audience. We've had Uruguay, Uzbekistan, India, Brazil, Mexico, Sri Lanka, Malta, Germany, England, Switzerland, Spain, Poland, France, Taipei, Canada. I think I have everybody. Did I miss somebody? Anyway, it was really great. And just like we say to our students, we got to practice, and the more often we do this, the better we get. So we'll have more of these sessions. And yes, I hope to see you guys around again soon for another session.